We're online, go ahead.
Good afternoon. Today is July the 8th, 2025. This is a regular meeting scheduled for the Veteran Advisory Board. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Remain standing for invocation, please. Pledge of allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Most gracious and eternal Father, we humbly come before you on this day, first to give you thanks, to give you honor, to give you glory. We thank you for this time coming together. We thank you for the leaders that have been assembled for this board, Father God. We thank you for those who have come from the community to come together that we may help our veterans. Father, we just thank you for all things. And we ask for prayers, Father God, for those who have their lives in the blood in Texas, Father. God, we know that their lives in your hand is upon them. We thank you for the leadership of this community. We ask all these things in your precious Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Everybody please sign your phone. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Let's go to item number 4, public comment. If anybody would like to do a public comment?
I see none.
Item number 5, regular agenda. There 8, discuss and approve the meeting minutes for the Veteran Advisory Board meeting on June 10th, 2025.
I move to vote. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Letter B, discuss and approve the meeting minutes for the Veteran Advisory Board for June 24th, 2025.
Make a motion to accept the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item number C, receive updates from the El Paso County Veterans Service Organizations, the Director of El Paso VA Clinic, and any other guests in attendance on information and or events of interest to El Paso County veterans.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Amin Enriquez, and I'm the Chief Center for Development and Civic Engagement at El Paso VA. On behalf of our new interim VA Director, Mr. Mark Riello, he's back. What? Oh, Riello's back, so he's back on board. We just want to give you quick updates on our healthcare, new healthcare center. It's been remarkable on the progress they have made in the last few months since we started in April. We were eager to see the progress that has been made. As you know, El Paso stands out on one of the model best places, best practices there is as far as like smoke clinics in the United States. As our project continues, we stay on schedule and within budget. The group has contributed to success with collaboration and teamwork, commitment, and resolving of all issues, responding to any questions in a timely manner, and dedicated engagement of the leadership. So they were really impressed of the progress we have made since April, and just want to keep you guys informed of the engagement and how the progress is going. I got some pictures I'm gonna send out to Ms. Hunt so you guys can see. If you guys go by 375, you can see now the structure is going up. The bottom, the basement, everything else is already completed. All the things that needed to be done. And then they're looking forward, still on schedule for 2029. Everything's going well with the new project. Also want to give you an update on remember a couple weeks ago I came here and I gave you about eligibility and ID cards, right? So we just hit 10,000, last week we hit 10,000 registered. As you know, we only have about 30,000, close to 40,000 veterans registered. So to hit that milestone, that's a third of what all the veterans that are within El Paso that have gone to the VA to make sure that their VA cards are up to date and in good standing. So that's amazing that we've been able to do this in a short period of time. About 2 or 3 months time frame, we were able to do 10,000. So that's awesome. I just want to thank everybody that supported this endeavor, and congratulations to the whole entire team in the VA in the eligibility department, because they've done a lot of long hours just to make sure they take care of benefits. Also, we want to continue allowing veterans, letting veterans know that we have extended hours of clinics. So now the extended hours are from 4 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Monday through Friday at the main VA on North Piedras 5001. The extended hours are for veterans that need minor health conditions such as cough, flu, sore throats, headaches, any type of symptoms, skin conditions, and minor injuries, acute lower back injuries and strains. Just letting everybody know that those hours are extended and they're going to continue. We're doing well now that folks are starting to come in. Now, first week we didn't get too many, but now they're starting to come in more frequently. So also we, the walk-in clinics. If you guys, any given day of the week, veterans can walk into any clinic and say, hey, I need to be seen today. And that's a first come, first served basis. Instead of going to the emergency care, you guys can go to the VA and get seen the same day. And you're probably gonna wait less than going to the emergency room. I promise you that. So if you have any clinic questions, anything like that, I'm gonna pass out some numbers because right now I think there is I think the misinformation about where do we call for numbers, right? So there are two numbers that are very important. If you have any questions about clinics within the VA, right, you should call 1-800-672-3762. And these are for any appointments that are, regular scheduled appointments to your primary care provider or any appointments that are, lab, x-rays, MRIs, dental, and things like that. You can call that number, right? Now, I think the conflict of information comes in when we talk about community care, right? So now I'm gonna give you a different number. So this is the number that folks need to call when we go to community care. Community care is 915-564-7899. That's the number that they should call when they have a community care question. That means that they got to the primary care doctor, the doctor already has referred them outside to the community. They already got an appointment scheduled to the community, and maybe I didn't get the email to what appointment I was gonna do or what labs I was gonna do, right? So then they can call that number and get seen. The next information I'm about to share.
Can you say that number again?
Yes, ma'am. So the community care is 915-564-7899. And that one is, and you guys know also, if you guys at any given time, if you want information about the medical care centers or the cemetery, or the VA benefits, or homeless, or crisis hotline, or military environment exposure, any of these things, you guys can always call the 1-800-MY-VA-411, which goes into 1-800-698-2411. And that's the number where you can get any type of information about the VA, any type of services that you require, you can call that number. Now, I passed this pamphlet around today because I'm a veteran myself, so when I go out to the community, a lot of times we spend a lot of hours with community care, take longer wait times, right, to go see the doctor, to get enrolled and everything else, right, to go to UMC. So this right here is a program that is a new program that is live orders for community care providers. For example, when you go to a doctor in the community and they want you to do your labs again, right, you can actually come to the VA and enroll in the CPO program, which is the Community Provider Laboratory Orders, and they can actually, sign you up for this program, and that way you can come to your labs at the VA, and they'll send those labs back out to the provider. Benefit of that is that now the VA also has those lab orders. It's going to go onto LabCorp, which you guys done before with and then you'll have your data right away. You'll have all your information that you need right away. Instead of you take those labs with the provider, and you don't know when you're going to get them or what happened and what to say and whatnot, right? So this is a new program that came out. If you guys need information about this program, you guys can call 915-564-6100 extension 6125. And you can call to Ms. Betsaida Cousins or Mr. Rania Trodell. Those are the CPOs and PSAs in charge of that program. And 915-564-6100, 6125. Now I'm gonna leave this brochures here, and then I'm also gonna send them out to Ms. Hunt. She can help. Right. And then just some quick announcements about some of the activities we have coming up in El Paso VA over the next few months. So we have the Summer Vet Fest in the PACDAC Clinic. That's going to be on Saturday, July 26, 2025. This is our third annual, and what we do is we try to bring folks in the community, PSOs. We got folks coming in to This year we got this theme called Art and Humanities Resource Fair. So what we're trying to do is put the veterans in contact with those resources for PTSD or any other anxiety disorders they have that they're dealing with. So we're trying to put everybody in touch with the arts and humanities part of it. It's a new initiative from Whole Health that's came about. So we're trying to make sure everybody partakes in that and learns some of the community partners that we have within the community. So that's going to be available that day. And in addition to that, we'll have the Pack That Clinic. Then we'll be giving out about 700 backpacks to going back to school this year. So we already got the backpacks. The donor is actually flying in from Houston right now. So we'll have lunch with some of our staff members, and they donated all those goods for the kids. So it's an awesome event this year. So thank you.
What's the date on that again?
So July 26th, 2025.
And I mean, with that, the veteran has to bring their kids with them to receive a backpack.
Yes, ma'am. Because sometimes if one, they come in, so, it's first come, first serve. That's another thing. First come, first serve. They have to, the kid has to be present to receive it. We can't just say, I got 3 kids at home, I need 3 backpacks and all this stuff. So that way we can, because they go fast. So we noticed in the past, first year we did about 100. They went within 30 minutes. Second year we did 300. They went within 2 hours. So now we gather 700. So let's see how we do this year. And it's for the kids. Is going back to the back to the community and things like that. And then we also have our homeless search coming up. Junction with the city and all the partners. That's going to be July 29th through 31st. We're going to have teams going out to the community, searching those veterans that need that support. And we're going to have special program experts with those teams to help out those homeless veterans. So and that's all I have for today.
Just for that Vet Fest, are you guys, or is the county setting up a table?
We're setting up 2 tables. We're all hands on deck for that event. We'll be inside doing Pack That Queens Clinic and then outside.
For sure. Okay. I'll let Connie know.
Real quick, TxDOT will be partnering with the VA this year for car seat safety event. So I don't know how many car seats they have, but it will be on a first come, first served basis. Where they do the food drives. That's where the car seat event will take place from 10 to 12. That's also on July 26th while the Vet Fest is going on. So if you think your kids need a new car seat, kids need to be present. One of the car seat safety technicians, bring them out so we can make sure that your car seat is, we can make sure that it's not expired, make sure it's not missing any labels. If so, they'll have brand new car seats on the spot to give to the parents and the kids, and we'll give you education on how your kids should be in the car seat.
And I want one more alibi if I missed it. So, our food drives are going well. Like every Wednesday we have our food drives. We're doing about 400 families every Wednesday. Mr. Bo is leading the charge out there. We might have to get us some more PTSD medications.
Yes.
She yells a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're doing well, and also we have the referral system with El Paso Fighting Hunger also. So if you have veterans that have diabetes, high blood pressure, and all these things, right? They have a referral where they have the pharmacy at El Paso Fighting Hunger. And what they do is they got dietitians, nutritionists, they take your lab work and they give you the food that you need for your condition. So it's an awesome program. We try to promote it so more folks partake in the program. So if you have anyone that wants to, you can always send them down to the VA 3rd floor CDC office, extension 7885, 915-564-1000, 7885, and then we'll refer them on to the El Paso Fighting Hunger so they can actually get the food that they need. Sometimes we looked at the food insecurities for veterans. They might not have the means to get those foods that they need for their condition. And what we're trying to do is try to get them off those medications that they're taking and try to get them into a more healthy style of living. The same thing goes with the whole health part of it. I'm trying to get more folks enrolled into the whole health so they can get the Tai Chi, the yoga, some of the other alternative medicine so they can actually get better in a different manner than just taking pills.
Sounds like 65 boxes for the last season.
Yes. So we also do the 60 and over boxes. The The 16 over boxes are specific for folks that are in the community that have low income, and there's an income requirement to that. So if they're 16 over and or 60, they're already on Social Security, they're probably more likely going to qualify for the boxes. So what it is a supplemental amount of food that they get additionally from what we given out on that Valentine's Day. And they can always, again, you can go to the CDC office to get signed up for that. And then, we'll get the boxes only once a month. It's not like every week. So it's once a month at the fourth weekend, the fourth Thursday, or the fourth Wednesday of every month. That's what we give out.
Okay, my question to you is, this is a serious situation, and I'm really realizing now how bad it is. Communicating to the public, we have over 20,000 veterans that have not been registered at the VA. With that in mind, I have come upon about 15, and the first thing out of their mouth is, my husband died, can I come and get benefits? I said, well, first you have to go and see if your husband is registered, and before he died, did he have disability put in? And then they will be able to tell you. However, is there any type of communication, news media, or something to make this more? The last 10 people that I encountered, I've gotten 4 to come to the VA. And that's by physically meeting them and saying, I'll meet you, I'll hand walk you if that's what it takes. I need you to get your benefits. I'm not veteran of the year for nothing. I need a gas card, but that's another stuff. But can we please get more people to come from out of the shadows and get their benefits? How can we, other than more communication, that we are here to serve you? Don't go out here and pay the lawyers. Let us do this.
So we go on the English-speaking networks, Spanish. I do the Spanish-speaking myself. So we go on there. We also have the social medias. But the biggest thing we've done in the last few years is the PAC. That's where we're trying to reach everyone, as much people as we can. We've done them all over the cities. You notice we've done them from Anthony all the way out to Isleta. And now we always do the summer one because that's our biggest one. So we encourage, like, if you guys at your own meetings, you guys are part of organizations that have a large following, please let them know. Those PAC, the purpose of those PAC acts, that's the purpose of it, is to keep everyone focused while we have the eligibility tables there at those events. And that's why we drive. That's why they asking us to do, to follow through on that. So
what I found out at the expo in March, one of the keynote speakers, I don't remember her name because I'm old, but the lady from VADC that came to speak, we asked her, like, how do we get to the 20,000 people? And she said that if you do pack that claims clinic and you register it through my office, we will send out notifications to those 20,000 veterans that have never filed for disability, aren't connected to the VA, and will continue to do so. So we need to make sure that that stuff's going out. Also, maybe we sit down and talk about doing a county, city, VA commercial or some kind of notification to say, we just want you to get your benefits, period. Because if the veteran passes and the spouse is at my doorstep and the veteran never came to the VA, they get nothing. The spouse gets nothing. And it's horrid to have to explain that to a surviving spouse in that fog after the veteran passes. So those are things I found out during the expo, just in talking. Paul and I were standing there talking. I don't remember her name. Paul and I were talking to her, and she said, if you registered through us, we will send out notifications. I know the VA can't share that information, but maybe we can get some kind of active, like, press release with the city, the county, TVC. We're all together in, working together to try to get veterans their benefits. And I think that's the most important part. So
I'm just going to caveat on what she said. The biggest challenge we have is, we have an active presence in the Army side of the departments, right? But we don't have really a large following from the other departments, right? So a lot of times, even from the Army perspective, we have a lot of hit and miss when it comes to 9/11 registering the folks that get out of the services. Now, everybody that's honorably discharged and retired, automatically they're going to go file for their claims, right? But when you have folks that get out of the service with less than honorable, and those other discharges, right, they are less inclined to go do that. So that's the issue we have, is like a lot of folks don't want to because they think sometimes they don't qualify for those benefits. And that is the issue where we got to reach out. So that's the challenge. It's always going to be the challenge. And I think that's the number. Majority of those numbers, I can promise you, a lot of those numbers, what we've seen in the PACT Act clinics is because they felt, oh, I didn't qualify for anything because I got out in this manner. And that's the biggest challenge, is getting out to all those veterans that feel like they don't deserve any benefits, but they don't know that they have earned benefits. And that's a challenge.
I need bail money because I walk up to you. If you got one of those hats on, excuse me, sir, excuse me, ma'am, have you filed a claim? What's your disability? I'm not trying to be in your personal business, but I really am.
Mm-hmm.
Can you help me help you? And if you don't want to do it for you, can you please do it for your family? And that's been really good. Like I said, the last week were Vietnam era and they wanted Agent Orange. I said, do you know how many PACT Act clinics we've had in the last 2 years?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, I didn't hear about it. And they're going to tell you that because they feel embarrassed and they don't want you to know that they have not, the apathetic side of it. Or I don't think those people still like me because when I tried before, they shut me down. So I don't want to go back and get my feelings hurt again. And so we're trying to tell them there's a new regime. Okay, we have people that care. 99.9% of the people are veterans with disabilities that are servicing you, and they know your pain and your struggle, and they're going to try to get you to the finish line. So that's what I've been trying to do.
I tell you something I've seen that works a lot in Las Cruces since they don't have as much visibility out there. Some of the VSOs, they do stand tos. They stand to eligibility, they stand to registration, stand to this, and they call us and say, can you guys help us out with this? Can you send a rep for this? And they go out there and they get the veterans that, even at, we've done our churches in Las Cruces. I don't see as many done here in El Paso, but the VSO community can come together. DAV, American Legion, VFW, so they come together and do some of the stand to, and then reach out to us, and maybe we can give them a rep or two so they can get those folks in their own community. Sound good?
First, I got to step through this. First, on the food drive, thank you. This is what you do on that. I know Celia, bring me a carload of stuff. Because we have veterans out there in precinct one, second to none. All right. And
How can you just say I give up?
no, but we have veterans that can't get out. I work with one veteran I'm going to talk to you a little later about. He enlisted in 1956. I'm saying that's a dying breed. So we get that food out to those, and thank you very much. And the second part is as I go out in precinct one, second to none, I look for ways to, young kids, they're easy. Young kids getting out of the Army, they're all over, get centuries. When it comes to social media, those guys are all over. So we have to go back in time. Those old platoon sergeants, old first sergeants, our old sergeant majors, they said fall in, that's where information came from. They haven't broke contact with them. Say that is, other guys I'm dealing with on computers, cell phones, right? You know, so as I try to market to the kids, to grandkids, you know, how to get to grandpa and grandma, and how to break that, and get inside that wheelhouse, figure it out, jump the challenge. I have a couple guys out there. One specifically guy, he can't leave the house. I'm trying to get his confirmed. They do it. I know this is a Pandora's box. It can be.
If you give me the information, maybe I can talk to some of the social workers.
If you do a one-on-one at the house,
They can't even call. They don't have no phone numbers now.
he has a house phone.
Yeah, but if you provide that information, I can pass it over to the eligibility folks, and they'll figure something out.
Because I'll be there. So I got his card.
Yeah.
I think he's
If
eligible.
you get the information, yeah. You got my number.
Yeah, I'm looking for a favorable guy. As if you come across these are, you know, the great generation. You know, how do we make sure they're getting those benefits, but they don't have it up? So I used to say go on. You say go online to these guys?
No, we'll put you in contact with this.
I don't know if other teams
No,
teammates are having that challenge in the community, you know. Thanks, Ann.
Is that everything, Amy?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Amy.
This is very, very good.
We've got Melissa Hartcrow with Texas Veterans Commission's Women's Program online. Melissa, are you there? We can't hear you.
Hola. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay. Hi, everyone. I hope you all had a great weekend. I just wanted to share some upcoming events that the Texas Veterans Commission is hosting. For everyone who doesn't know me, I am Melissa Harcrow, the Women Veterans Coordinator for West Texas with the Texas Veterans Commission. So our first event is actually tomorrow evening from 5 to 7:30 p.m. at the El Paso Veterans One Stop. This is our first collection of items to be placed in a Women Veterans exhibit at the El Paso Museum of History. If you haven't received the flyer, you're more than welcome to reach out to me and I can share that. But I am asking that people do not give me items or drop off items at the One Stop outside of the designated dates and times. I can't guarantee safety and accountability of your items. And I also need you to sign a waiver. So there's a lot of logistics that go with that. So please don't do that. Anyways, so tomorrow's our first collection. And then the next event is a virtual community partner meeting. It's for everyone in the West Texas district. And what we do in this meeting is we host this semi-annually and we discuss gaps in services and any issues that affect women veterans. So this isn't to say that only those organizations who service only women veterans can attend. We want all organizations that serve veterans that include women to come and attend. And I'm especially interested in talking with you all about what you are seeing now or foreseeing with these changes in grants, staff reduction, all kinds of issues coming up with programs across the state, and how that may affect the services that you provide to women veterans. So that is July 15th at 1:30 p.m. Mountain Time, and that is virtual through Zoom. And then the next virtual event is a VA Claims Workshop, and we have Ms. Hunt as our guest, who's going to talk about the claims process. We'll touch on military sexual trauma claims, and then how do you connect with an accredited claims representative. And that's going to be Tuesday, July 22nd, again at 1:30 Mountain Time. And then the final event, actually, nope, I think that's everything. I'll wait till next month to share the other items because they're going to happen in August. But if you don't have any questions for me, that's all I have. I appreciate your time.
When's
Yes, ma'am.
your second drop off?
Second one is, let me pull up the flyer. The second one is July 19th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And then I'll give you the last one. The last one after that is July 23rd from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m.
I'm waiting to the last one because I have a lot of stuff, and what you don't have, I promise you, I'll fill you up.
Oh, sure, no problem, no problem. And please, with that, please share the collection dates and times with your networks. I don't care if you're not a woman. I don't care if you're not a veteran. You know someone who is, and someone who has a connection to the Paso del Norte area who deserves to have their service recognized. You look around the city and the county of El Paso, you're not going to find any gaps in honoring our male service members, which is great. But we really need to honor our women veterans. So please don't be a gatekeeper. Share this information with everyone. Thank you.
Melissa, can you send that?
I got it. I'll share it.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
One more question, Melissa. Do you know tomorrow's is Devil's birthday?
I heard you all singing.
She just sent me a note to remind you.
So I expect there to be one cupcake saved for me.
I got you. I don't eat cupcakes, so you can have them all.
Somebody got some Firestone.
All right. Is that everything on your item? Thank you, Melissa.
All right, item D, please. Receive an update from the City of El Paso Program Coordinator regarding veteran issues. Mr. Joe?
Hi, it's Luther Jones here, City of El Paso Veteran Program Coordinator. So I just want to piggyback off what Amin said, that they are having the the VA homeless surge. It's going to be 29th to the 31st. I'm going to get that out of the way. He got the details for that. But, we're having our Veterans Borderplex Veteran Service Provider Summit, which is a train-the-trainer event. I'm going to mass email invitations out again. I'm going to post them on social media, but you have to be a service provider to go to this event. It's going to be September 2nd and September 3rd. We're going to provide a meal. We're going to get everybody together, and then some of the decision makers from the VA and other places that are critically involved in this. They're going to be on some panels. We're probably going to have 4 to 5 people on the panels. There won't be breakout sessions, so it'll be everyone trapped in the same room, so we can actually get all of the same information, answer all the same questions. But it's a good place that it's going to be a huge, more in-depth coffee with veterans type deal. We're really going to hone in on things like that. We're having our VAC, our Veterans Affairs Advisory Committee, which is next Thursday, the 17th of July at 10 a.m. It's still at City Hall, but it's also live streamed just like this meeting. If you go to the City of El Paso's YouTube channel and click the live, it'll be right there. Should be a good one. We're also still participating in our canned food drives for the VA Homeless Stand Down, which is separate from the surge event. The stand down is happening September 12th, so we're still collecting cans. We've almost filled up the box that we have at City Hall, so let's fill that one up. It's at the first floor of City Hall, right by the HR entrance. If you just tell security, they'll take you right to it. We just want to see if we can collect enough canned goods, non-perishable items for our homeless veterans before September. We're starting a new Bridge Fellowship cohort in August, bringing in probably 5 new fellows. And what the Bridge Fellowship is, it's a 90-day unpaid internship where we can get any transitional service member, veteran, military spouse, dependents, pretty much anybody military connected. We can get you in that 90-day internship with almost any of the departments if you're minimally qualified. And what I mean by minimally qualified, if you want to go to HR and I don't know, you've got 3 to 4 months experience working at a place, we can get you in there. If you're looking to do IT, if you did some IT in the military or you're in classes for IT, you don't need all your certifications. It would help. You'd be able to do more, but those are some of the things. We have a dependent in the zoo right now. We have a guy that's working on his, he had a logistics background, but he's working on his doctorate in healthcare administration. He'll be starting at Del Sol. So it's not just the city of El Paso. We can reach out to some of our partners and he'll be with the executive staff. So it's going to be a tremendous amount of experience for him. And we also have an individual that was in our department and now she's moved over to the police department. So anybody, if you guys reach out to me, I got cards, or you can contact me and I can help you or whoever you know get into that internship. This week on Friday, we'll be meeting with ACS at their, we're having a Helping Hands Initiative meeting. And that's just to strengthen the collaboration. If you guys won't be there, I'll be there on your behalf, letting them know that the city and the county want to play nice and be involved in whatever Fort Bliss has going on, just to make sure, because all of those soldiers at some point are going to be veterans. So it's a no-brainer for us to collaborate with them. And then next week during the VAC, me and the Chief Military Officer, Mr. Albright, will be in Denver, Colorado for the Vet Resources Community National Convening. And it's just a place where we can, probably about right now, I just checked, it's like 300 different organizations are going to be there, and they're all some sort of veteran-facing organizations. Some are going to be local, a lot of them are going to be national organizations. And it's a place where we can share best practices, bring what we're doing to the table, learn about what other organizations are doing. And the whole goal is just to serve the veterans in El Paso better. So if there isn't any questions, that's all I have.
What was the date?
Let me see. For ACS, it's Friday, July 11. That's going to be at 7:30 at ACS. There was an RSVP, but I'm not sure how tightly they're holding that. I did.
These situations, I think, I'm going to talk to the team, but if we can have someone there from the county, okay, it'd be awesome. I think someone's wife might work there.
Oh, yes.
That's right. I do the same.
You're not wrong.
It's a pretty young lady right here. But yeah, that'd be awesome. For sure. Not just to show the teamwork we have with each other, which is every day. One question on is it called the homeless roundup? I don't want to call them homeless.
Homeless search.
Homeless search, is that the PC term? Because
That's the pieces.
someone corrected me the other day, oh, we can't call them homeless.
We call, well,
Unhoused.
So there's two different
Unhoused,
events.
yeah.
So you get the VA homeless surge, which is, that's what it's called. And then the other one is the VA homeless stand down. So we both called it.
But
One
when
of
you
them called
require
other
them,
things.
the PC term is unhoused.
So one is the.
I know that's a lot.
One is
No, it's not a lot to come around. I just want to make sure as we label stuff, we're doing it correctly.
That's how they call it.
That's what the VA
That's the
call it.
correct term that they gave.
There's some training for that. I know, what's your expectations from Tom? Maybe I can say that.
I mean, you guys can, if you guys would like to participate, we can put you in contact with the homeless coordinator, Ms. Christy Mitchell, and we can have you participate if you want to.
So there's training for that
There's
event.
training for that event too.
That's what I'm saying. I'm sure there's some responses.
The, the next Saucy Kristen Friday at the homeless stand meeting.
Do every 2 weeks they do a stand-out meeting at 3 p.m. at the South Central on Beer Street. They do the stand-out meetings every 2 weeks, Fridays. Like, so she's going, you are next Friday, right?
It's this Friday.
This Friday, yeah.
This Friday at 3
This
p.m.
Friday.
1500.
I know if you look at our county footprints, our foxholes out there, I can tell where we live, I just don't see a lot. But I want to be, I'm going to be on board helping you if you come into the city. That I don't see better amenities for homeless, but you get on that stack and provide assistance.
It'd be nice, but maybe we can give you guys a tour of all the, because they have a lot of centers that house homeless veterans, all the resources for the homeless veterans. And if you guys want to see what it looks like, you can definitely put you in contact with one of the reps from the homeless team, and they can give you a tour and give you guys that way you guys can be situational aware of what's going on in El Paso.
I think that would be great.
We talk to the team, get some response back internally, and we can, how can we support, you know what I'm saying? And,
I'll send you, when I send you the email about the ACS, I'll send you some information. So that VA homeless surge, we've broken down into subcommittees, and I'm on the volunteer subcommittee. So then this is taking quite a while for us. I wish we'd been, quicker along, but they gave us a short deadline. But I was assuming we would already have volunteers yet, but we haven't got to that point yet. This thing is happening very quickly. The end of the month, it's July 29th through the 31st. So when we have these meetings, we're kind of still going through what, how we're going to collect the data, because some data is going to be collected through HMIS, which is a system that they use. And some of the data is going to be collected through another automated system on phones, where when you go out, we're going to meet this individual, collect a short piece of data right there on the street, and then they'll be transported if they would like to be transported. I've done these before in a different capacity, and I'm going to tell you, a lot of people aren't going to hop into a random van and go somewhere, veteran or not. They're going to take the stuff that you give them, and they're going to answer some questions. That's about it. They have lofty ideas and goals for this, but I think a lot of that comes from the individuals that are involved haven't done this before. They're just thinking that, oh, well, they're homeless, and we provide this resource, they're going to come in and jump right into this van with us and go down to the VA. So, but I will get you the information if you want to be in that. So when it does come out, so we can get this roster going, I can put your name first on the list. It'll be down here.
because one of the challenges I'm finding is like, I'm talking to 10 people, only 2 are veterans. Can't not help the other 8.
Well,
With everybody. We're
the
doing
surge is all homeless people. Yeah,
Yes.
the surge, to my understanding, is all homeless.
Yeah, that's why there's going to be two ways to collect data. You're 100%.
So it's going to be folks that are going to be on the private side. Amistad, that helps out a lot. Amistad is almost like, I call it like a mini VA.
Yeah.
Yes.
For people, when you
non-veterans.
meet someone that's not a veteran, they say, Amistad, I'll share this out with Dr.
I know Denise. Yeah.
Denise, I'm going to just give them, that way if you ever meet a person that's not a veteran and you want to help them, you contact her. She has all the resources she needs. The same thing we have at the VA to help them.
Okay, thanks.
Anything else for the city?
No, ma'am.
So item E, receive an update from the Paso County Veteran Assistance Office regarding veteran issues.
Good afternoon. Antonia Hunt, Veteran County Service Officer. So our grant was approved the award was approved by Commissioner's Court yesterday. So we are up and running with our TVC Funding for Veterans Assistance Grant. I did take out one of the kiosks at Bassett Place. We have advertisement for it. That advertisement will run for the first 3 months of the grant through the summer. So I'm hoping that it'll get people to come in, one, for claims benefits, and also to use the grant. But if you find veterans that are in financial need, that grant covers rent, mortgage, utilities, telephone, and vehicle payments. There's no financial there's no income requirement. but you have to prove a hardship. So that's kind of where that is. Tomorrow we'll be at Agua Dulce Community Center, and that's in Horizon City. They're doing a back to school community service event. So we will be tabling the grant there. And this is one of many, I wish Amin had kind of stuck around, but this is one of many of the tabling events that we'll do. Because the only way people know how to use a grant is if we're out there advertising the grant. So what I may do is get with the BAB and give you guys some of the flyers. So as you're out in the community, if you come across somebody, you get the right information, because Julio is my grant manager and everything for the grant comes in and out through him. I am the appellate authority. So I try to stay hands off until I need to get involved with that pace. So on the 24th, there is a resource fair at EPCC, and then another one for Pride, the Pride hiring event on the 25th. I'll get those flyers for you guys, but we'll be tabling and all of that, and then we'll do Summer Vet Fest. For us at the county, it's all hands on deck for the VA Vet Fest. We'll have 2 claims agents inside doing pack deck things, and we'll have Julio outside pushing the grant, and I will be kind of roving, making sure everybody's okay and taking care of that. The next stand down meeting is Friday at 1500. That happens at the South Central VA Center off of Revere Street. So as we get closer, we start pulling in more agencies into those meetings. Everything's kind of already established, but now we're going to start checking on, like, okay, this person's still bringing this, et cetera, et cetera. And just for your information, I get a lot of requests for these photos on the wall. For a long time, we were budget constrained to add anything. I have in my budget enough to add about 60 photos to the wall. I'm going to have our communications department do a press release for a very short period of time. And then whatever we get in, we'll try to get on the wall before the end of the fiscal year, and that purchase order runs out. Pending your questions, that's all that I have.
We have an unaccompanied.
We do on July 18th at 09. We have an unaccompanied. I will send that notification out tomorrow. And I know that there was an event. The Ambrosio Guillen is having their 20-year anniversary that morning as well. So I think I'll probably go to the funeral and then drive very safely to Ambrosio Guillen to make it to that event too. But both are very important events.
Ms. Hunt, these pictures are not going away.
No.
You're going to relocate them?
Absolutely not. The judge will not let them go away. So my plan, and I've sent an email, but our 7th floor is our Veterans Treatment Court. I plan to coordinate with Judge Baca with her permission. Some of these photos will be relocated to outside of Veterans Treatment Court. That way we can bring more in and kind of cycle them through. But my plan for right now is to take everything down, because now we're segregated. The men are on one side and the women are on the other. I did that purposely to honor women veterans, but now I'm going to take them down, mix them all back together like we train, and then we'll put them back on the wall again. So we will add about 60. If we run out of space here, we'll start filling up on the 7th floor. So,
Ma'am, when are you going to have the interns clean the flag case?
The interns? Oh, you're putting them. I don't tell the interns.
I know. I'm teasing you guys.
She just they're like, what? I'm like, I don't tell you.
Time for another meeting.
That's how it works. Any questions? Okay. Next
So
item.
item F, receive a presentation from Tender Care Services for Veterans.
Yes, it was.
Ms. Peters.
Come on back.
So thank you so much for allowing us to be here today. I'm Nancy Peters. I am an Army veteran. Out there?
You want to sit down?
No, is it okay if I'm here?
Yeah.
I brought my team with me, so I'm just going to briefly introduce my team and let them do the talking. We were so honored yesterday to be in front of the county judge and the commissioner's court to receive a resolution. So thank you. Being the only 5-star We Honor Veterans Hospice in the El Paso area and one of a handful in the whole state of Texas, we're truly honored to be here. And today we have our team to explain how we got there, what that process looked like, and what things we can offer you and our veterans of the El Paso County area so that you know when you go out to your VSOs and to the veterans you come in contact with, things that you can think of us while you're doing that and how we can help enhance those services that we can offer our veterans. So at this time, I'd like to introduce April Brandsetter. She's Director of Hospice for Tender Care, and she's gonna tell you all the good stuff. Thank you.
I would just like to say thank you for inviting me here, Mr. Maynard. Do you mind if I sit down? Because I'm a little nervous. I'm just a little nervous.
She's a nurse.
We don't bite.
Are you gonna pass out?
So I'm going to explain We Honor Veterans. So basically, it's a national initiative through NHPCO that all hospices can elect to participate in. Some don't. The initiative is multifaceted. So there's a component that is community education, and Tender Care has done a lot of presentations in the community, in particular PTSD and dementia, because what I did was I screened a population and I found out what they wanted me to teach them. And that's the big topic is dementia and veterans. Other initiatives, like we chose to attend Veterans at Breakfast, and that's not necessarily, for us to promote our business, but what I do is I sit there and I listen. And I'm like, okay, this is going on. Okay, they say they need this. And, we make lists and see like, hey, how can we help? We also do pinning ceremonies, and everybody has seen and heard those, and our Instagram has tons of them. We recognize veterans both within the agency and also without. So we went to Solstice Assisted Living Facility, and there were 22 veterans that hadn't been recognized. So we had a ceremony with them. We give them a flag pin and we honor them with a certificate because some of them have never actually been recognized.
It's awesome.
It's really cool.
Awesome.
I did have the privilege of being at one of them. I came to Veterans at Breakfast and asked for volunteers for somebody to come to an invocation and pray. Immediately I just went up to and volunteered. It was awesome. It was awesome to be in the presence of all those veterans.
So on that note, as a social worker, and Laura and Tina also, we're social workers. When we have our patients and we identify them as being veterans, we get their DD Form 214. We find out where they served, what they did in the service, their awards or decorations, and sometimes their family members don't even know what the DD Form 214 is. They have no clue what their loved one did. But when we bring that back to life, the veteran may have dementia or Alzheimer's. They remember, it comes back. And so we honor them. We let them know this might be the only award ceremony they ever were part of. So they may have done 2-3 years in the service, but we acknowledge that and pin them before they pass. And so they actually have a ceremony, a party, a celebration with whomever they want to have present. Awesome.
Mr. Maynard attended our Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans Day ceremony, and you're required through the program to do that yearly. And we took that out to the community to Simpatico Assisted Living, and we honored their Vietnam veterans. We also have to do a state or community-wide event. This is the one I'm still trying to figure out what we're going to do this year. Last year, we did a clothing drive for the Opportunity Center. Some of the other things that we offer are caregiver and grief support groups, and those are open to the public. So we have one in the Northeast at the Tobin Church, and we have another one that we just resumed at Ambrosio Guillen, the Veterans Home, which they have allowed us to open to the public.
And those flyers are in your folder.
And the flyers and all of our Tender Care information is in this folder. We are also creating a guide to resources, and we were talking to Ms. Tony yesterday about kind of coming together. So once we identify more resources you have, then we can pass them along to our families. The bigger idea behind this is where's the need and how do we help? So some things that I've learned along the way, like when we were doing that fact sheet, we identified that the VA doesn't have a palliative program anymore. Tender Care does. We've also identified other areas where we need to do the community education, specific topics, whatever that might be. One of the initiatives is in the program to be available to mentor other hospices. I don't think that's good enough just to be on a list to mentor other hospices, so I'm going to force myself to mentor another hospice. Because it's not just Tender Care doing this program, all of these hospices could be doing this program. They could reach out to all of their patients also because we're still missing people. That's my big thing is, try to find the marginalized people and let's get them service. One of the first questions we ask when we admit a patient to hospice is, did you serve? Or did your spouse serve? And then that triggers a question, are you enrolled in VA? And I think the statistics, when I totaled them up for the program, I think we identified 76 veterans and 10 we assisted with benefits. And I think we had 2 refusals. But we do help with that program. You can ask Ms. Lauda, one time we couldn't find somebody's DD-214, so it brought us 6 boxes of paperwork and gallons. We're displaying papers everywhere. So that's the big thing with tender care. We're not just out here, for referrals, for business. We're trying to see, all right, how can we do this in the community? How can we help people? Where do we need to be? And my goal is to get other hospices to do the same. There's a lot of information in this. We have an entire service line.
My question is that I do the honors flight, and I was on flight 18. So we take the veterans that are World War II, Korean War, and now Vietnam, because we're on the Vietnam era in Korea. Are your residents able to be given that information, fill out the application, and be able to go? Because we have what we call guardians. They are you. They are the person that takes that veteran and gets them to DC. Everything is paid for, hotel, flight, everything. And let them see some things, the monuments, enjoy life, go to the Smithsonian tour, and then come back and then get welcomed all the way through, all the way back, because they weren't welcome. And so I would like to know, can we add some of those residents' names, and we can get you Miss Elaine in Las Cruces, who started the actual event, and now we combined with El Paso, so we can make sure that those residents that are here have the same opportunity. And I'm also a registered for voters. I can also register when it's time to vote again. We come to you. I've gone to the Texas Veterans Out Home, and I register you, and I will come and help register your residents there. Yep. So help me with that.
Our patients can travel. Most of them, by the time they reach us, they're homebound, they're bedbound. And this is my big spiel too. People elect hospice way too late. And it's because they're scared of dying, but I'm not here for dying. I'm here for all right, let's go to the bar. Let's do whatever you want. Live your life, take the honor flight.
But our main healthcare component,
we can extend it to the home health community. We're focused on hospice here, but we do home health as well, and there's still, we can extend this information to our staff that are in the field, the nurses and inform.
You get your list, and then I'll give you a communication, and then we can go from there.
And I also met with a gentleman from the American Legion about class patrol. And so we want to incorporate that too. So some of our veterans who could benefit from that drive by, maybe not be able to ride, but have them drive by from class patrol. So there's definitely some great opportunity.
We volunteered at the honor flights, the 2 in the morning.
I remember.
I was there.
We did go to and the welcome home too, and I was like, where were all y'all at 2 in the morning?
We said the same, but we are designated to be there. So yeah, we're part of that group. Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
I also wanted to add that we are recruiting volunteers for our vet-to-vet cafes or pinning ceremonies. It's very important for us to have veterans pinning our veterans because it's a natural bond, a natural connection. So it makes such a big impact. So that's why I spoke to Mr. Maynor, and he's the one that supported us with the Welcome Home Vietnam veteran event that we had. It was amazing, and he did the prayer and he did the pinning. And we also had another person from the Veterans Networks that helped us, but it makes such an impact to have another veteran. So if anybody has extra time in their hands and just maybe once a month, if you can volunteer, that would be
the information to our boss over here, Ms. Hunt. She'll voluntold us.
Oh,
Yeah, if you get the information.
I don't order anybody.
Yes,
I don't know why people keep
You do.
saying this.
I voluntold.
You do.
okay. Yes, but that would be amazing. And I mean, it's such a beautiful, the pinning ceremony is such a beautiful experience. I mean, I've had patients that are hours before passing and we get to spend this time with them and celebrating them. And it makes it, for them, maybe they're not really aware, but their family are very, very compelled by this. So I would appreciate it.
How do you get around the corner on, I have a couple veterans in our community, and they don't want that. They need it. Too stubborn. I kind of appreciate it. You know, but they need exactly what you guys offer. How do you get around the corner of that stubbornness and that's one of the questions. You know, how do you get around that one?
Repeat
The
contact.
other one is trust. Hospice is going to come in, not you guys. And I'm sure 90%, I'm not talking about 90%, but they dealt with their moms when they were alive. Stuff was missing. Didn't have trust. They're protectors.
I mean, a lot of it's repeated contact and trust.
I know they don't trying to build trust.
It does, and you have to take the time. And most people, they don't want to take the time. Time is money, especially when you're dealing with organizations. We're not a corporate hospice. You know, we're a family-owned, El Paso-owned hospice. We have the time.
The program if it's not there.
I know people have gone to hospice, and every time you have someone come out and see a different person, and it's always, and that's tough. It's tough for hospice. I'm not digging hospice. Don't get me wrong. You know, they have who's available, but for the recipient, it's a brand new person. They, you know, giving them the baths, doing the stuff that needs to be done.
I do facilitate the 2 caregiver support group meetings, one at Ambrosio again and the one at Golden Park United Methodist Church. Even though they may be their own caregiver, they're welcome to come to that. And so that might help build some trust. And hearing others on caring for their loved ones, it's a long shot, but I mean, it's just a possibility. Building a network of people that they can count on and talk to and have a commonality with. And maybe we just need to form a separate veteran caregiver support group other than the VA and maybe pull it away into a more environment.
Some people don't trust, you're right though. Some people hear VA and they think it's the proverbial man and they just lose all.
Right.
That's one of the first conversations doing claims that I say is I am not the VA.
Right.
We work at the VA. I am not the VA. We are not like the proverbial man. I have 2 questions for you. One, there is a West Side Veterans at Breakfast initiative that has just started. If you haven't been invited to come speak, let me know and I'll send you the invite, connect you with Mr. Parker?
Yes, Ron Parker.
Ron Parker that does it. It's not as well attended. It's new. They've had 2 breakfasts so far, but like if we can get some people out there and get some advertisement for it, I want to make sure we're taking care of the whole city, county, respectively for veterans.
And the food is better than the other.
Where do they go?
Hey, that's nice.
He said that on air. That was recorded. So the other question I have is surviving spouses. I have a lot of surviving spouses. Can you tell me what your program can do for them?
So not only do we have the support groups, we have the grief support group. One of the things I didn't notice until I started doing hospice was the percentages in the death certificate. So we immediately flagged that. I just fixed one this morning because they didn't tell us at admission. So I had to go back to the doctor's office and add in PTSD, tinnitus, and malaria. But to get the 80% so the spouse could get help.
If it's not getting diagnosis, when they come to us, and it's not going to be on the death certificate, it is a
and that's
problem.
super
so we
important.
have to really be thoughtful. You find out they're a veteran, boom, right there. We need to really start collaborating right away to make sure
That's
that
something
we
can help with as well. Is just checking what their service connection is to make sure that because once the death certificate is issued, it is a huge deal to go back to the state of Texas and get that amended for the spouse. And I've seen like spouses fight, and you only have 2 years from the time of death to file for your benefits for the dependent indemnity compensation. So I want to make sure that we're taking care of our veterans and our surviving spouses. So I thank you.
I think it makes a difference that we have 2 medical directors for hospice, so we're in communication with them.
Yeah.
And so primary diagnosis has to be, what their service connection is. And and we communicate that with them.
Perfect.
So they're not dealing with their PCP that probably has like 10 diagnoses, they're dealing with one medical director, so.
Right, I think
It
that's
took
great.
me 3 minutes to fix it this morning. Very simple. And that's the benefit of hospice is we bypass a lot of stuff. And don't have a lot of the red tape. Just, you know, if you die in the hospital, good luck getting it signed. It's going to take a while. So that's the benefit of hospice too. So we take that whole work off the family or let the area get close.
That would not, absolutely. I think that's great.
Thank you very much. Any more questions?
Is there anything else? I know we started asking questions. We might have distracted you.
Always a little goodie bag, and then my business card's in the folder. You can get questions later. I'm all around the city.
I'm on board, yeah, I'm on board if you go out there.
Who's catering all that?
But,
Thank you guys so much for coming.
It's like something like in a bar/restaurant and they do it in there. Tony.
Thank you, guys.
I just want to take the time, April and Massey, April, just want to take the time because I've been out there putting the ceremonies. I want to take the time as a part of this board here, to thank y'all for what you do, taking care of our veterans, to make sure that those who don't know who their families are or don't have family, make them feel like they do have a family within your organization. And I want to take the time as part of this board to thank y'all for that. And whatever y'all doing, I want to be a part of. Better than just schedule tomorrow, send me a text or something.
We know where to
I'll
find you.
come down there, that document you sent me, I'll come down there. If you assist me filling it out, getting it done, this way you'll have it. Just let me know what time is a good time.
And I have one more thing. Veterans at Breakfast, we do what is called a roll call for any veteran that has passed away.
Yes.
Whether they're from El Paso, from Timbuktu. So if a veteran passes away and they're not buried here in this area and you still want them recognized, we can put their name on our roll call and we'll give them an honor and I will videotape it and send it to you to send to the family. That's what I've been doing. So if you do that, I can assist you. Okay?
okay.
Thank you.
Go to item G, discuss and take appropriate action on selection chair and vice chair for the Veteran Advisory Board for section 2I of the Uniform Rules and Procedures for the County Boards.
Okay, so after our last meeting, the county attorney's office advised me that one, we do need a chair and a vice chair. So I think we were ill-informed prior to, so we had only voted on a chair. Every July, we have to re-vote on a chair and a vice chair. So at this point, I want to open it up to y'all to decide on a chair and a vice. Who do you nominate?
Fellow, be back in there already.
For the chair?
Yeah.
Barnes.
Can I get a motion?
I move that we nominate Mike Barnes as chair for the veteran.
Second.
Third motion.
All in favor?
Before we do the motion, we have to see if.
Oh, he don't have a, so he voluntold. No.
Do you accept this tomorrow?
Yes.
It would be a motion to elect.
Motion to elect?
To elect, my bad. I have a motion to elect. Yes, Mike Barnes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. What about vice chair?
I make a motion. Bam, bam.
Motion?
And I don't want to do a process, I know everyone's busy. I know this takes a lot, it takes a lot of gas, as
We're looking at hard.
because to be out there in the community and stuff like that, but it takes the most expensive thing we have, which is time. And I thank everyone for that. I think everyone for coming out today. You know, God bless you for being friends with Devil.
Thank you.
We have a support group on Tuesdays. No, but people take up their personal time to go out there, and I'm looking at Veterans of the Year every day. Every time I go to an event, I see the faces in here out there supporting our. It means a lot. So now David's busy working. I know Veteran of the Year, and which you're not, all right? But you're a good battle buddy. I'd like to nominate Reggie Maynard. Make a motion to elect
I second.
At 30.
That means you gotta show up now.
Sheree, do you accept the motion?
Yes.
I accept the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thanks,
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Both of you.
An increasing pay. You can't be, yeah. You just can't be at the same event at the same time.
There.
Look at it.
I see.
So item H, discuss and take appropriate action concerning the 2025-26 Veteran of the Year selection.
Okay, so really quick on that, there's not a whole lot of action on that. So what we're about to start doing, and I need your help with this, we go to a lot of the same meetings, but if you go to meetings that I am not at, I have prepared a sample packet. And it's basic information. This is where you tell us things about your veteran that we don't typically know. Do they coach Little League? Do they, are they an usher at church? Like every little thing counts, but with the packet, I want to be able to give the sample packet, the rubric, and then us go out into meetings and say, this is how you get your veteran nominated. We know there's amazing veterans doing amazing things in this community. If the nomination is not written correctly, we won't get the information that we need. And I want to make sure that it's transparent and that it's fair across the board, and then we will come together sometime in October to select the next veteran of the year.
I know we've been putting, not to cut you off, I'm sorry.
Okay.
No, I know we've been putting it out, you're exactly right. Everyone's got that same look in their head, that, how do I fill out, how do I get to it? Are we gonna have it posted on the website?
I am.
Accessibility?
The sample and the rubrics will go up. I just wanted to make sure I briefed it to y'all before I did
One thing I
that.
didn't brief in is, one thing to nominate somebody, something to take your time, take the time to be perfect, right up. All former officers, NCOs, you all wrote awards, you wrote, but for some of us, it's been a while.
That's ChatGPT.
ChatGPT, hey, I am in house. Yeah.
If
It's
you
almost
can't
around
write,
for
they
you.
can.
But you're right though. You gotta give people the right, quantified applicants on the table, so we look at it.
It's fair. And I want to make sure that, one, there's a policy with the county that governs how the Veteran of the Year is selected. That's one of the first things that I took care of when I took over in this position. Two, when we meet, it'll be a special session of the BAB, so that information is always available. I don't want anybody, I had a concern, a veteran came to one of my employees with a concern that since I took the job, we've had 2 female Veteran of the Year, and my kind response was before then we had 5 male Veterans of the Year.
There you go.
So it just depends on who writes. I have no vote in this. I just bring the packets to you. The other thing I wanted to ask, would you be for or against if we took the names off, if we redacted the packets and gave them numbers?
Yes.
So you didn't know.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, that'd be better. No pictures, no names,
Right.
no. I'm telling you right now, you say we had 5 men in a row. I thought that was Debo, all right? I didn't know it was a young lady. No, we got it
we
right.
didn't.
We got it right.
We did. And it was transparent, but those who don't know or aren't involved or don't know us, they don't know that. So do we need to make a motion to redact the packets prior to voting, or is that something that is not needed?
Yeah, make a motion. I can just direct staff.
Okay, right, staff, I will take care of that. That being said, that's all I have under the Veteran of the Year item.
I think you're gonna send to me for second eyes.
I will. I've got it. I just need to plug it in.
Send it to me, Reggie.
Yep. Already, you're on the hook now, Mr.
Go to item, I, doesn't take appropriate action on future opportunities for the Veteran Budget Board. Mark?
Mr. Chair,
Your turn, you're up.
future opportunities.
All right, big thing around the corner, guys, is Veteran of the Year. You know, get that out there. And I think when we look at it, and I'm not gonna lean towards another, but we have 2 potential Veterans of the Year sitting right here. I don't want people to think because they get paid to do what they do 3. You know what I'm saying? You know, just because they get paid to take care of veterans, don't eliminate them from being Veteran of the Year. Somewhere they made a decision, this is what I want to do. So if you go out there to our community, we push this hard. Like I say, I see potential veterans, I see Veterans of the Year almost. Someone needs to take the time to put that. As we, it's not we can do, as board members, we can put that paperwork in, but the question is asked, But on the second side, we don't want to overlook all those great folks out there doing God's work, taking care of our veterans.
Mr. Barnes, what's your timeline on nominating, or when does the selection process start?
We're going to start in August.
August 15th to the end of September.
The end of September.
We'll accept packets. And then in October, at some point, we'll have a special session to make the vote.
We know 90% of those packets will come in the end of
The last week.
September.
The last week.
So, but we'll have a special session to go every packet. Go watch the process. Every year, every packet, look at those veteran training during their time in service and during also their post-service career. Hopefully, that's how we get the right veteran.
I'll be so happy when they get here. Oh, did I say that?
I know we got a lot of stuff coming up. Our battle buddies out there putting a lot of stuff on the table that we don't want to miss. So if there's stuff out there, we'll put it out through email and stuff. If something you want to attend, you don't want to, if you want to attend, just kind of put it in the chat group. Hey, nothing no agenda items go in there. And it's all scheduled. So come up with the chat group. Hey, I'm going to attend this. Would not, if you're available. That way, we'll know we meet up. I think that our footprints out there. We're not walking in sand anymore. We're walking through concrete. And I think Veterans Advisory Board is out there full force representing our commissioner, the judge, as well as the big folks here at Paso County. So that's all. Is there anything I'm missing for upcoming events and upcoming future initiatives that we expect from ourselves or we interested? I do encourage everyone to go to meetings with their commissioners. I go out with Commissioner Butler, Precinct 1. God, this is a hard time out here. No. But if you keep, I'm not getting nothing on the first day. Hey, it's like fishing, guys. You put that line in that water, first couple cash, you're not going to get nothing. But hey, starting now, people are starting to come to meetings. People are starting coming forward. Kids, grandkids, sons and daughters. Hey, my dad was in the service. He's still PO'd at the VA from 1982. I get it, but that is a requirement. That's the Mecca that we have to, get our veterans to. It's a challenge for some, but as you go out there, I know Richard's not here today. He does a great job down there in Lower Valley. So they have an alliance. If there's venues you need to look at, please let me know. I'm an old fire commissioner. That's one thing we're going to use down in Montana Vista is our fire station. Get to use our fire chief out there is a veteran. And we're going to use that for some events out there. There's stuff that for I'm talking about East Montana. And I'm sure every commissioner is on board with it. Do not get me wrong. And for East Montana, that's one of the venues we're going to try to use to help get our veterans in. And
let us know so we can bring the grant out there and advertise. Like if we come into your area, let us know if you can.
We're very territorial, but commissioners are like gang members. I'm telling you right now, very territorial. No. Love that.
Yes, on July 28th, as a reminder, the Commissioners Court will read the resolution for American Legion Post 36. Also, we celebrate our 105th anniversary. We're one of the oldest, if not the oldest in the region. And then on August the 9th, I invite everybody down to Post 36 on Shell in Montana. We'll have a birthday celebration starting from 2 p.m., 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. will be the program. We got different bunches going on, and then we'll have hot dogs and hamburgers available, and then from 7 to 11 we'll have a live band, dance, and celebrate. So July 28th, Commissioner's Court, the judge will present. Mr. Jones is working on the same thing, a resolution from the state proclamation.
Same thing.
Yeah, same thing. He'll let me know what date that is.
What's the date?
July 28th. August 9th.
Yeah, that being said, July 28th, we're also doing a resolution for, it's precinct 2, and they're doing a resolution for the armed Horses YMCA and Commissioner Stout's actually touring their facility next week. I don't know if you want to jump in on that. But I believe the 16th. Okay.
16th?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be good only to
The 16th, I think, at 9 a.m. was the date he was supposed to tour, but check with his staff and find out. And then on August 4th, we'll probably do a Purple Heart resolution because August, I believe it's the 7th, is Purple Heart Recognition Day. The 9th, also, there's a ceremony that Saturday. So there's 3 things going on August 9th. There's the Purple Heart ceremony at EPCC. Right after that, Veterans at Breakfast doing their annual cookout. And if you haven't had enough of sweat outside, the American Legion, you're going to be inside, right?
Yes, inside.
They're going to have their event too. So August 9th will be a busy.
That's post 36, right?
Yes, post 36 shall move.
You will send us.
I will.
In August the 2nd, PGM, Persian Gulf Memorial, unveiling 7 years of collecting money, fundraising, getting all the items here, the cinder blocks and what have you, etch and sketch, the whole 9. It is ready to be unveiled
Is there a
2nd
flyer for
August. Yeah, I'm gonna send it out to you.
Send it to me. We'll share it with the group.
And
so we
it's,
get on the thing.
9 o'clock.
0830, that's what you said.
Well, I said 8:30 because I know your time is not my time. And
He's in El Paso time.
he's El Paso, okay. But yeah, and that's gonna be a nice thing. Yeah. So we're getting the color guard and everything. So it's gonna be at the flag site, 54 in Diana, 9001 North Gateway. But I'll get the flyer.
Okay, give me the flyer. We'll get it
I
out.
have one, but it was messed up.
Is that everything under future opportunities?
That's it.
Thanks, guys.
Next item, please.
Okay, Item J, discuss and take appropriate action regarding Veteran Advisory Board short and long-term goals for 2025.
Okay, so last couple weeks ago, we did our special session and we met with our communications. They're not IT. He's gonna throw something at me if I call him that. They gave us the layout for our resource guide, right? We like the layout. So what I had one of our office, we have amazing office volunteers. If you haven't come by my office and that are volunteers, one of our office volunteers completed those last 3 or 4 resources. I'm going to send it out to the chair and the vice chair today so you can distribute. I need you to call those last 4 sections of resources, verify them so I can get them to communications so they can finish the webpage. Once that's finished, then I think we're good to go. I would like to I can do a highlight, but I want the court somehow to know that this is done and it's been updated. So either we go and do a presentation or a special session, but you tell me what you think. The other thing with our short and long-term goals is last meeting, we talked about federal level gaps in services, right? We need to start looking at state and local. And I already have a couple of state resources that we're looking into, diving deep into. One is the Ambrosio Guillen that stays at capacity. We have an aging Vietnam veteran population. They're asking us to do something. So I'm putting together a committee of people who are going to dive deep into the process of either creating another state home or an annex of Ambrosio Guillen, which I think the annex would be more doable. And my sources tell me the city was already working on this, but then whoever at the city was working it left and went to Austin, and it kind of just got dropped there. But I have let the city know. The city happened to be at Ambrosio Guillen while I was there, and I have talked to my boss about setting it up. What I would like to do is get a committee of people together to talk about how we do this, and then collectively, the city, the county, we take a presentation to the county commissioners court and to city council and tell them this is something we need, and we've done the research, we know what it takes. And this is, so when we go into the state goes into the next session, we know what funding to ask the state for as far as extending that. But we also need to start looking at local gaps. So if you see gaps, write it down. If you hear a veteran complaining, bring it back to this meeting. Because what I'm gonna start doing is I'm gonna build a spreadsheet like we used at the beginning of our goals. It's gonna say local, state, federal, and we're gonna put a chart of gaps together. So this is something that I can't do if you don't bring gaps back to me. Yes, sir.
With like I said, when you propose this to, the state agencies you're going to reach out to, would the name of it be the annex?
I don't know. And that's something they've already looked.
I would lean away from that because if you think the annex, I think the jail. I don't want to say grandma's at the annex.
When I hit that place, they're gonna call it the annex.
You've already been to one annex.
But we don't have to call it that. I mean, we're obviously the Veterans Land Board is going to be involved. We're going to have to run some traps on that, but I definitely want the city to partner with us. And I have a few other veterans. And then the big thing is when we take this to the county and then the city, that we have veteran supporters coming to this meeting to say, we know we need this and we're supporting what they're doing, because if there's not 75, 100 veterans backing what we're doing, then we're not heard, you know what I mean? Or it's not as heard. So we want to make sure we have the veteran support to it. Yes, ma'am.
Can we get a list of the communities, because we've been to a few events and people have volunteered the free land, like a place that they can build on that's already available? That they would like.
It's a tax. We did it for, when I was commissioner, we used to get it for tax, right up on taxes.
At least we'll have an idea.
Donate it, but there is.
You're talking about
for the annex.
county?
No, you're talking about the annex being built in Montana.
Built.
The veterans have requested that the annex be built in East El Paso, far East El Paso.
There's one
Lower
being
Valley
built
area.
in that already, so that's.
Not a veteran's home though. Not, that's
Not a veteran's home.
yeah, that's,
They're building the county annex up.
yeah, the county annex is out there. See, it's not a jail.
Jail, not a jail.
It's not a jail.
Call Barrett. You might get better by calling Barrett.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure if we had land volunteered that was free and available, that we had those lists. That's all.
Okay. So the other thing that I have, we're gonna have to move our August meeting because the county does their budget processing. So the next meeting should be August the 12th. Is there anybody opposed to meeting on August 19th?
You have to go a whole week, or is it?
Well, the whole week is budget
Does
hearings.
that work for everybody? I mean, okay.
I need to check with Erica on the
What time?
room.
Same time?
It'd be same time. It'd be Tuesday the 19th. I have to verify the room, but
This room will be okay. Lexi, this room will be okay, right? The 19th?
That?
Can you use the 19th, this room?
Yeah, you should be.
I'll check with Erica and make sure it's booked.
Okay, I'm good. So let's put it in the book.
Okay. Next item, please.
You in town?
Okay.
I believe so.
Let's go to item K. Receive monthly updates from the Veteran Advisory Board members on items of interest or issues from the representatives. Let's go to precinct 1, Mr. Martin.
Not really. I've been going to meetings, we've been out there, we've been kicking up dust out in East El Paso, and again, we're starting to make contact with the veterans out there. It's tough in county, and city's got a little more condensed, a little more stuff out there, but I'm working with, like I said, one of our fire chiefs. Reggie and I do our community meetings out there, and it's the same venues to the annex and go, so.
Thank you. Precinct 2.
And say, for precinct 2, Commissioner Sprout, the main thing his concern is the resource guide. So I've given him a back brief on that and have a meeting with him to find out some other things and some issues that he, concerns, not issues, concerns that he has as far as I'm concerned. Some things, and talk to him about the rhinos. Team about getting some help to get out there to try to help get that area cleaned up. So that's where we're at right now.
Thank you, sir. I know Mr. Precinct 2 said you have something, but go ahead.
Yes, hi, Javier Paso, Senior Policy Advisor for Commissioner Jose. So thank you for attending in the presentation of I heard it was a success. I wasn't able to make that one, but I heard it was very well attended and a good presentation. Thank you for making sure that everyone knows about that grant. Everybody was excited about that grant. The only announcements I have is that they kind of settled on all the dates for the Veterans Day event. So in case you want to write them down, Baven's is having their event on Thursday, November 6th. Their first. Now Saturday, the day is always the biggest day for us. Now we're gonna have 3 instead of 2. We usually have 2. So the first one's the Sun Alley Parade. Morning at 9. Then Clint will have theirs at 11. They've always had it at 11. And then Horizon, the first time will have theirs. And they were going to have it in the morning, but I persuaded them to do it later so that we can try to so that veterans can be able to support each other instead of at the same time. So they agreed to 12, so trying to get them, I have the next meeting, so trying to get them to one, so we have at least 2 hours.
Yeah.
2 hours to at least, not be rushing out of the other one. So that one's not settled on the date but time, but it's going to be in the afternoon. Then Socorro for the first time is going to have they're going to do a parade too, but they're going to have it on Sunday. So they'll be the only ones on Sunday of the night. And so that kind of clears already the whole lower valley. And we purposely leave out Veterans Day alone because we know that the county usually in the city does them. Downtown. I don't know if that's what the set is about it. And I think Northeast too does.
The Northeast is Veterans Day proper.
Yeah, so we stay away from that day.
The downtown parade is actually Saturday.
Oh, that's Saturday.
Yeah, it's always, the downtown parade's always Saturday, hosted by UAVO. And then on Veterans Day proper is the Northeast parade. But
so that's the only one we're competing. I mean, I don't think that's the right word competing, but where the Sunelli parade, yeah, it's the same time. But we've always had it that way.
That's, and it's, we just split the baby on that, that's fine.
Yeah, just that's about it on the dates.
I did ask, I know you won't attend the August Lower Valley Veterans, but I did ask if I could come back so I can talk about the Veteran of the Year application. Yeah. And so I'm going to go to that meeting in August just to talk about the application and tell them and teach them how to write the application so that it's fair across the board. But just to let you know that I will.
Yeah, I'll be on that one too. I'll be at Socorro Police because we move around.
You said police?
I should not go in.
There's those back training trailers.
Okay. Sure.
I'll send you that later.
Precinct 4?
You skipped 3.
Oh, no, he's 3.
No, we do appreciate you. There's one of their big gaps, saying that we need gaps. And I know they keep pushing for that.
They were really excited about that too.
Also, seniors, veteran seniors. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think they'd want to call it addicts either.
No.
If we could go that direction, that would be at least closer.
They were really excited about that, and I have some veterans from that group that want to be part of the process. So.
Oh, yeah. Whenever you know about that committee, you're talking about.
Yeah.
Let's go to precinct 4.
Precinct 4. James and I met with Councilwoman Trejo. My passion for getting this memorial for retired Command Sergeant Major Paul Robinson, deceased December of last year, and worked for the county, the city, everybody. Primarily because he lived in the Northeast, he did a lot in the Northeast. Councilwoman Trejo has procured the Veterans Park.
Veterans Park.
The Veterans Park in the Northeast, Salem and Rushing, with the one soldier out there holding a weapon. I went yesterday and took pictures of what's going to be. The process is going to be something like this. I'll get all the pieces together and give you the rest. There is a section on the side that was the former daycare. Covered, big open space. The object is to make raised gardens, raise vegetables and flowers and what have you. Each person take a box. I did the layout yesterday and we probably have a space for 20 boxes. So with the UAVO, DAV, all the American Legions, the VFW, your group, our group, the VAC, any city council people, I want the mayor to take his section. I want the judge to take his section and all the city council people to take their sections. And then we want the kids that are our future to come because we need them to see how from a seed to whatever is grown is there and how it happens. Also the fact that with the children being our future, they'll understand more. There's a covered canopy side that we can do and even give back to the community, the vegetables and flowers for your home. We're gonna have to have a few resources to help us out because it's a sand pit right now. And there's a wall that we're gonna use as a mural, and I'm in contact with EPCC for their art department, Black El Paso Art and El Paso Art. So whoever gives me the best mural, I'll let you guys judge. We'll come here and judge it as a group because I don't want to be the only yay and naysay.
City.
That's a city part.
Yeah. I don't care, it's my project. They better figure it out. Anyway, we're gonna do a mural in recognition of him and my vision that I'm going to impart to these artists. And we're doing local artists, period. We're not going outside of El Paso, paying somebody to come in and do our art that doesn't know our veteran that's deceased. My vision is because he did so much work with community, food, kids, everybody, something along that line that shows him giving back, some type of a giving back type scenario. So I'll let the artist take the theme and figure it out, okay? I also put in that, how many know your local libraries give seeds? Your local libraries give you seeds. They give you food seeds, meaning plant seeds. They also give you vegetable seeds, free. You get 5 to 7 packs every year free. Just show your card and you can get free seeds. But I will use a 501c3 and I'll go to Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, whatever, and the nursery and have them do a few donations for us to get started. So that's what my piece is. But that's the part that I'm very passionate about. That's what I've been working on. Commissioner Coronado is fully on board. The judge is fully on board, as well as the mayor is fully on board. So we've coordinated that. Oscar's gonna be on board because I beat him up and that's his best friend that passed away and he had money. So we need to have him included. He wants to be included. He did say that. So all the parts and all the entities to be are included and I will keep giving updates as I put it together. Thank you. Yes, Javier.
If you reach Commissioner Coronado's staff, the Veterans Public Purpose Fund, as long as the county, talk to Lorena Rodriguez, as long as you put the county logo as whatever flyer, he makes Commissioner Coronado makes his case that it's a public purpose, that he's gonna go and say words or something with the judge, then they can fund it. There's a fund.
Okay. And what's it called?
For Veterans Public Purpose Fund. Veterans Public Purpose. I'm trying to get it renamed.
Veterans Public.
That's
Public
the grant.
Purpose Fund.
It's a grant, yeah. Public purpose. So that's the key, because it goes to county attorneys and they need to see that it's public purpose.
Right.
That's the
Let's
criteria
keep
for it,
verbiage.
for it to be approved.
Okay.
And then you gotta put your county on flyer. You're asking for a sponsorship.
Okay. And don't go out there and look yet, because it's just a sand pit. Okay, do not go look. So let me get it organized and find the donators, and it'll probably be Jobs and a few people that can do the groundwork with laying out the rocks, the stuff, and then we'll go to the nurseries, whatever, and the boxes organized, how much it takes to build them, and that type of wood. That's how much detail it is. Then we'll go from there. And I do already have on standby the master growers that are in our area, local. So we'll have master gardeners be able to help with everything. So they're included as well. Now, no issues.
Just go to our county judge appointment.
Yes, so as you know, the judge is a very busy person. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start communicating with him via email. We do text each other on certain issues, whatever. Mostly I'm going to start bringing him up to date and see if he has anything that he wants me to bring up via email. It's especially busy now during this re-election campaign, so very difficult to get in to see him personally. So I'm going to start communicating with him via email.
Yes, my name is Henry Castillo. I am new here with the county. I work for Judge Samaniego. So, and I will be attending your meetings. I was just telling Ms. Hunt that I was here from the last board of the advisory board of the veterans, and what a difference. Congratulations to you guys. I mean, this is my first meeting and it's like night and day. But anyway, I will be attending.
We apologize.
I will be attending and yes.
Okay. Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Welcome on board.
Thank you.
And what is your time?
Well, it's changed in 6 days, but right now it's public policy advisor.
Public policy.
It's something like that.
And your name again?
Henry, Henry, last name Castillo. CASTILO.
Thank you.
That's it. We adjourn.
So motion.
Second.
Opposed?
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Evening,